Hi everybody, this is Bogus Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the brand new McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Collector Edition Platinum Guy Gardner figure. So before we take a look at Guy Gardner, let's go ahead and take a look at all of the accessories that he comes with. So first up, he comes with your standard DC Multiverse base. Up next, you get his data file. This is a shot of what the regular version of the figure looks like. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause that now. Up next, he comes with a set of fisted hands, with the yellow lantern ring right there looking really good. That's painted very well on all the different hands. Up next, he comes with accessory holding hands for holding the yellow lantern here. And the yellow lantern looks very nice. It's cast in a translucent yellow plastic. I definitely wish we would have gotten some effects pieces for him. Some yellow effects, even if it was just like the effects from Simon Baz reused in a translucent yellow color. I think that would have been really cool. Up next, he comes with a right pointing hand and left open hand. Up next, you get the standard faceplate. I think this looks pretty good. McFarlane Toys did a pretty good job on this. Up next, he comes with this open mouth faceplate. And this is probably my least favorite out of all of the faceplates. I think it looks really goofy. Up next, he comes with this smirking faceplate. And this is probably my favorite faceplate out of the three. He's got that smug look on his face. I think this one is definitely the best. Up next, you get his iconic bowl cut hair, and this is sculpted and painted really nicely. It looks like it's cast in a darker color and has that orange color painted over top of it. That looks really good, and you just pop this off. You can see he has a bit of a Lego person head right there. And finally, he comes with the alternate modern hairpiece, and it's sculpted just as well as the bowl cut. I just don't think it looks right on him. I get what they were going for, but I just don't feel like it flows right. It definitely looks like it's a separate piece that's not meant to be on there. It actually looks like another figure's hair that's on this one. I don't know, I'm just not fond of the way that looks on him. So the way that I'm definitely going to leave this is probably with the bowl cut on. Now, I do think the face plates and the hair sculpts look really good, but I just don't like the way the face plates connect to the rest of the head. It is a very, very noticeable seam line. I'm not sure why they didn't just go straight up from here. I just don't know what they were thinking with that, because it's really noticeable. It's not quite as noticeable with this hair on as with the other one. But yeah, that is just very ugly. You do get a bit of gappage too. It won't quite go flush there. So it's always going to have that little bit of gappage right here on this right side. The left side isn't quite as bad, but yeah, this right side has some serious gappage. So I am not fond of how this was done. McFarlane Toys has done a really good job on the faceplate so far. But yeah, with this one, that's very ugly and really noticeable. But I do like the way they sculpted the shaped part of his head. It's actually textured and it fades into a bit of skin tone down here. I think that's really good. It just sucks that the rest of the head looks like this right here. Since this is the regular version just repainted, some of the details aren't entirely accurate, like he should have some yellow buttons right here on his vest. The logo could have been done just a little bit better. You can see a little bit of blue showing through the yellow right here. And is it just me, or are the arms a different color? The upper arms right here are a different color than this. The lower arms to me look like it's matched a little bit better. But I feel like these upper arms are a lot darker than the rest of the vest right there. It just looks really funny to me. I definitely wish they would have painted some details on the belt right here. Just even some silver touches for the rivets and the buckle right here, or just a dry brushing. Anything would have been really good. On the pants, you do actually get some very subtle dry brushing. It is really hard to tell, but there's a little bit of paint detail to make it look like he has acid wash jeans on. And that looks really good. I don't think it's really showing up on the camera that well, though. There's not any on the back of him, though. I definitely wish we would have gotten more of that dry brushing, because that actually looks really good. They also did a really good job at sculpting the hands and making it look like he has gloves on. The way they sculpted the wrinkles looks really good. And then the boots have some nice sculpt detail with the wrinkles on them. But again, no sort of paint detail. There definitely should have been some paint variation on here. Even just a dry brushing of like light brown. And if I remember right, he actually had these dark brown patches right here on his boots. So it would have been nice if they would have painted that on the inside and outside of both of the boots there. So now, let's go ahead and go over his articulation. So he has a ball-jointed head that can look up that far. He can look down just a little bit. And as I'm moving it, this faceplate is coming loose. That is very unfortunate. He can move his head side to side and all the way around. He has ball-jointed shoulders that can move out that far. You don't get much movement here in this joint because of the way the vest is sculpted. He has a swivel at the bicep, double-jointed elbows that can bend in that far, wrists that can move up and down very slightly and spin all the way around. He does have a ball-jointed diaphragm and waist, but it's pretty hindered because of the vest right here. You can see it almost looks like they did sculpt his shirt underneath there. So there is something sculpted underneath, but because of the way it's attached, it limits all the articulation right here. So really, you're only going to get motion down here at the ball-jointed waist that moves up and down very slightly. He can move all the way around and side to side very nicely. He has some really crunchy hips. They can do a complete split. He can kick forward that far, back just a little bit. Very slight thigh swivel. McFarlane Toys has really been improving that lately, so it sucks that the thigh swivel is so hindered right there. He has double jointed knees that can move back that far, ankles that can move down all the way, up just a little bit. It doesn't really want to spin. This joint is very tight. Yeah, it's tight on both sides. So it doesn't want to spin up here. It will spin down here. And he has toe articulation that can move up that far. So now, let's do some size comparisons. So first up, here he is next to the gold label Hal Jordan figure. Here he is next to Jon Stewart. Here he is next to Simon Baz. I couldn't find my Kyle Rayner. I really wanted to get him for a size comparison, but I could not find him. Here he is next to Shazam and Martian Manhunter. Here he is next to gold label Superman. And finally, here he is next to Nightfall Batman. So overall, I think this figure could have been done a lot better. I think the idea was good, but the execution was very flawed, especially with the way the faceplate connects to the head. It's just so ugly. The seam line is horrible looking, and even now looking straight on at him, you can see the sides of his head stick out from the faceplate where it connects. It is just very ugly and done very poorly. I also wish there would have been some consistency in the collar between the vest there and the arms, as well as some better paint variation on him. You get a very subtle dry brushing on the pants, but no sort of paint detail anywhere else. It really needed some paint variation on the belt and the boots. So overall, I think this figure is not as good as it could have been. I've wanted a Guy Gardner in this line for years, and now that I have it, I am very disappointed by it. Hopefully McFarlane does a different version in the future that's a little bit better, because I'm not really happy with this one. So, that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.